Vas Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayana Namaskritya Naram Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Singha Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 33, Activities of Kapila, text number 20 onwards. Hitva tadipsit tamamapya khandal yoshitam kinchachakar vadanam putra vishleshna tura. Although her position was unique from all points of view, saintly Devahuti, in spite of all her possessions, which were envied even by the ladies of the heavenly planets, gave up all such comforts. She was only sorry that her great son was separated from her. Devahuti was not at all sorry at giving up her material comforts, but she was very much aggrieved at the separation of her son. It may be questioned that if Devahuti was not at all sorry to give up the material comforts of life, then why was she sorry about losing her son? Why was she so attracted to her son? The answer is explained in the next verse. He was not an ordinary son. Her son was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can give up material attachment, therefore, only when one has attachment for the Supreme Person. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita, Param Drishtva Nivartate. Only when one actually has some taste for spiritual existence can he be reluctant to follow the materialistic way of life. And Mother Devahuti here, she was so fortunate. First, she was daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, who is son of Brahmaji himself, and Manu is also considered as, Manu is also considered as expansion of the Supreme Lord. Then she was wife of Kardam Muni, a very, very exalted person. Then she was the mother of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kapil Dev, Lord Kapil Dev. So she was a very exalted personality, Mother Devahuti. And she just gave up all the material comforts, and the comforts were of such level that they were envied even by the ladies of the heavenly planets. Means the heavenly planets, ladies, even they didn't have those kind of comforts that Mother Devahuti had. And she just gave all of them up, just like that, because she got the higher taste of associating and listening from her son, who was the Supreme Personality of God. She was so attached to her son. Vanam pravrajite patya virahatura gyata tattvapi bhunashte vatse goriv vatsala. Devahuti's husband had already left home and accepted the renounced order of life. And then her only son Kapila left home. Although she knew all the truths of life and death, and although her heart was cleansed of all dirt, she was very aggrieved at the loss of her son, just as a cow is affected when her calf dies. A woman whose husband is away from home or has taken the renounced order of life should not be very sorry, because she still has the presence of her husband's representative, her son. It is said in the Vedic scriptures, Atameva Putro Jayate. The husband's body is represented by the son. Strictly speaking, a woman is never widowed if she has a grown son. Devahuti was not very much affected while Kapil Muni was there. But upon his departure, she was very afflicted. She grieved not because of her worldly relationship with Kardam Muni, but because of her sincere love for the personality of Godhead. She was aggrieved not because of her worldly relationship with Kardamuni, but because of her sincere love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's natural. That's natural for a mother. The example given here is that Devahuti became just like a cow who has lost her calf. A cow bereft of her calf cries day and night. Similarly, Devahuti was aggrieved, and she always cried and requested her friends and relatives, please bring my son home so that I may live. Otherwise, I shall die. This intense affection for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, also manifested as affection for one's son, is spiritually beneficial. Attachment for a material son obliges one to remain in material existence. But the same attachment, when transferred to the Supreme Lord, brings one elevation to the spiritual world in association with the Lord. So the attachment is not wrong, it's just where to repose that attachment. And here also in the first line, Prabhupada says, a cow bereft of her calf cries day and night. Somehow, I don't know, I didn't read this purport, but I just chose this picture of beautiful calf in my background. So the cow cries day and night, and people say animals have no feelings, no emotions, and they just take the calf away. And I've also seen for the cow and for the buffalo also, they kill the calf, the male calf, because the male calf is, for them it's good for nothing. It's just going to eat and not give any milk. And then they stuff the body with whatever, grass and whatever. And then they bring that dead calf in, when they're going to milk the cow, they just put the dead calf there, and the cow or the buffalo thinks her son is drinking the milk. And she gives more milk for the love of her son. And this way, the sinful people, they just draw more milk out of cows or buffalo's body. And then they think they can become rich and they can enjoy by that money. So sinful. And even if they have taken the calf away for killing and for his meat or for the skin, it is said a cow, if she is crying at a place, then all the negativity, negative energy will be there, all inauspiciousness will be there. And if a cow is at any place, if she is satisfied, completely secured, feeling protected, and she is happily breathing, in that place there cannot be any lacking. But people think it's just some superstitious things said in the scriptures. But it is true, it is very much true, and sooner or later we have to pay the price for that. That's why in America and in Europe, this vegan is a big movement, because people say you don't treat the cows properly, so we're not going to drink that milk because it's not meant for us. In one way, that's good, of course. The milk, after feeding the calves, whatever milk is left, that is for us to consume, because cow is our mother as well. But the way they treat the cow and the calf, this is what people are against, the vegans are against. So it's a very heavy sin, making a cow cry. Probably that is the sin that we all are paying for right Every woman can qualify herself as much as Devahuti and then can also have the Supreme Godhead as her son. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead can appear as a son of Devahuti, he can also appear as a son of any other woman, provided that woman is qualified. If one gets the Supreme Lord as a son, one can have the benefit of bringing up a nice son in this world and at the same time get promotion to the spiritual world to become the face-to-face associate of the personality of Godhead. So one can have a son like Kapildev or Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can have a daughter like Srimati Radharani, and then one can have all the attachment for that son or a daughter. You know that's the ultimate point of affection. And in this way, Prabhupada at the same time get promotion to the spiritual world. So bring up a nice son or a daughter in this world and then get promoted. Nothing can be compared to that kind of life. But as Prabhupada said, one has to be qualified. So we just become qualified by purifying our heart, purifying our consciousness, and have the mood of service. Like Mother Devahuti, she didn't stop Kapildev from leaving the house. Of course, she didn't like it, but she didn't stop him. All she did was ask him questions, and when the conversation was over, Lord Kapildev left. And in the process, she got self-realized and spiritually more advanced. Tamev dhyayati devam apatyam kapilam harim babhuva chirato vatsa nispriha tadrishe grihe. O Vidura, just thus always meditating upon her son, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kapildev, she very soon became unattached to her nicely decorated home. Here is a practical example of how one can elevate oneself in spiritual advancement by Krishna consciousness. Kapildev is Krishna and he appeared as the son of Devahuti. After Kapildev left home, Devahuti was absorbed in the thought of him, and thus she was always Krishna conscious. Her constant situation in Krishna consciousness enabled her to be detached from earth and home. So like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Man mana bhav bhakto, man mana, always think of me. And here is a practical example. She was absorbed in thought of him. Absorption, like we discussed the other day, there is no difference then. Just like a sponge, if it is absorbed in water, there is no space in the sponge for anything else except water. So absorption means no other space for anything. For Devahuti, it was Kapildev, and for us, it could be Krishna, it could be Radharani, it could be any other incarnation of Krishna. It depends where our heart is connected. And that is what is required, Krishna consciousness. Unless we are able to transfer our attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no possibility of becoming freed from material attachment. The Srimad Bhagavatam therefore confirms that it's not possible for one to become liberated by cultivation of empiric philosophical speculation. Simply knowing that one is not matter but spirit soul or Brahman does not purify one's intelligence. Even if the impersonalist reaches the highest platform of spiritual realization, he falls down again to material attachment because of not being situated in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. So just meditation or philosophical speculation is not enough. One has to be engaged in the transcendental loving service, and then one will always be meditating on the Supreme Lord. How I can do my service better. In fact, when Uddhavji brought the message of Krishna to the gopis, so gopis listened to his message And then they caught him. That message was given to gopis at a place, now it's called Uddhav Kyari, that is near Nandagaon. But they didn't say anything that time because Nand Baba, Yashoda Maya, they were around. Then, few days later, maybe next day, they caught hold of him in Vrindavan. There is a place called Gyan Godali. Gyan Godali, yeah. It's a beautiful place, close to the banks of Yamuna. So there they got hold of Uddhavji. And then they gave the real Gyan to Uddhavji. And Uddhavji was telling that Krishna has told that meditate on Brahman, and I am everywhere, and I am with you also. Meditate upon me. Meditate on my impersonal feature. And they got hold of Uddhavji. They said, we had only one mind, and we already gave it to Krishna. Now, where is the mind that we can bring to have dhyan on impersonal Brahman? Where is it? We don't have that kind of mind. In fact, they would say that we want Krishna to get out of our minds. We don't want to meditate upon him anymore. Because we think of him and we cannot do our household duties. So that is the position of gopis. In fact, Shukdev Goswami did not name which gopi is saying what, but acharyas have clarified that sometimes mostly it was Srimati Radharani was speaking, and then some other gopi, maybe Lalita and Vishakha, and they clarified, but Shukdev Goswami didn't take the name. But this is the position of the gopi. They say, Krishna, get out of our mind. We want to take care of our household duties. Because you are there, we are always thinking of you, we cannot do our services properly. And here, our mind, completely opposite. We are so much absorbed in so many other activities, we hardly have time to think of Krishna. So that is the position of gopis, and especially the position of Srimati Radharani. The devotees adopt the devotional process, hearing about the Supreme Lord's pastimes and glorifying his activities. And they were always remembering his beautiful eternal form. By rendering service, becoming his friend or his servant, and offering him everything that one possesses, one is able to enter into the kingdom of God. As it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Tato Mam Tato Gyatva. After discharging pure devotional service, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, and thus one becomes eligible to enter into his association in one of the spiritual planets. So this is a way to enter the spiritual planet. Always remembering him, always thinking about him. And that is why Rupa Goswami, he says, there are only two requirements, only two conditions, only two rules of devotional service. That's it. Only two. Everything boils down in these two rules. And what are these two rules? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. That's it. The rest, everything he says is kinkara, kinkar. All other things are kinkar, or servant of these two rules. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Somebody will say, oh, they are the same, what's the difference? No, there is a difference. Always remember Krishna. But there could be some time when we have so many problems that we can forget Krishna, but then the person says, never forget Krishna. Never. So all we are doing, whatever, reading, chanting, service, association, yatras or whatever we are doing, cooking for Krishna, cleaning for Krishna, all it has to do is to make us, bring us to the point where we always remember Krishna and we never forget Krishna. And that too in a favorable way, obviously. And that's it. That is bhakti. That is the perfection of bhakti. But these two rules looks like so difficult. And that's why we have to practice. Dhyayati bhagvat rupam yadaha dhyan gocharam sutah prasanna vadanam samasta vyasta chintaya. Thereafter, having heard with great eagerness and in all detail from her son Kapildeva, the eternally smiling personality of Godhead, Devahuti began to meditate constantly upon the Vishnu form of the Supreme Lord. Bhakti pravaha yogena vairagyena baliyasa yuktanusthana jatena jnanena brahmahetuna vishuddhena tadatmanam atmana vishato mukham svanubhutya tirobhuta maya guna visheshanam. She did so with serious engagement in devotional service. Because she was strong in renunciation, she accepted only the necessities of the body. She became situated in knowledge due to realization of the absolute truth. Her heart became purified. She became fully absorbed in meditation upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all misgivings due to the modes of material nature disappeared. So she was so much absorbed that all misgivings due to the modes of material nature means no more anxieties. Nothing. Brahmani avasthitam mater bhagavati atma sanshreya nivrit jiva patitvat kshino shabda nirvriti. Her mind became completely engaged in the Supreme Lord and she automatically realized the knowledge of the impersonal Brahman. As a Brahman realized soul, she was freed from the designations of the materialistic concept of life. Thus all material pangs disappeared and she attained transcendental bliss. The previous verse states that Devahuti was already conversant with the absolute truth. It may be questioned why she was meditating. The explanation is that one theoretically discusses the absolute truth. He becomes situated in the impersonal concept of the absolute truth. Similarly, when one seriously discusses the subject matter of the form, qualities, pastimes, and entourage of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he becomes situated in meditation on Him. If one has complete knowledge of the Supreme God, then knowledge of the impersonal Brahman is automatically realized. The absolute truth is realized by the knowers according to three different angles of vision, namely impersonal Brahman, localized supersoul, and ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one is situated, therefore, in the knowledge of the Supreme Person, this implies that one is already situated in the concept of the supersoul and impersonal Brahman. So Mother Devahuti was always thinking about Lord Kapildev, absorbed in thoughts of him. So she had already crossed the Brahman realization part. Long purport. So I'll go towards the end. So the real purpose of all processes of transcendental realization, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga, is to arrive at the point of devotional service. If one endeavors simply to achieve knowledge of the absolute truth or the supersoul, but has no devotional service, he labors without gaining the real result. This is compared to beating the husks of wheat after the grains have already been removed. Means useless labor if one cannot come to the level of devotional service. Unless one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be the ultimate goal, it is valueless simply to speculate or perform mystic yoga practice. In the Ashtanga yoga system, the seventh stage of perfection is Dhyana. This dhyan is the third stage in devotional service. A third stage or third type of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. There are 9 stages of devotional service. The first is hearing, and then comes chanting, and then contemplating. By executing devotional service, therefore, one automatically becomes an expert jnani and an expert yogi. In other words, jnana and yoga are different preliminary stages of devotional service. Devahuti was expert in accepting the real substance. She contemplated the form of Vishnu in detail as advised by her smiling son Kapil Dev. At the same time, she was thinking of Kapil Dev, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, she completely perfected her austerities, penances, and transcendental realization. So she had the best of both the worlds, actually, we can say. But because she was completely meditating, absorbed in meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And before that, she served Karda Muni with complete dedication. So all we have to do, of course, this is Satyuga when this story happened. So they had to do meditation for so many years. All we have to do is just chant the holy names and serve properly. That's all. Even of all the processes, just chant. Chanting. That's it. And then, and that's why by mercy of Krishna, tomorrow is very auspicious day, Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi. I'm pretty sure Radha Prabhu will frame up a nice message and send it. So we'll all spend our whole day chanting, so there won't be any class tomorrow or day after, because for you tomorrow and for me day after, we'll be chanting. So next class will be on Thursday. So please chant as many rounds, and Radha Prabhu, if he has something to say, please say so.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. By your mercy, we are doing 64 rounds every year. Otherwise, we cannot even think of it. It is purely your mercy.
Not my mercy. It's all Prabhupada's mercy, but you should chant more than 64.
Yeah, 64 is minimum.
Okay. So you please draft up the message. Everybody is waiting for your nice nectarian message.
I wanted to ask whether should we create a new group for this by a particular purpose, and then we can close it later, or people can leave it. Because in this group, when we are posting so many messages, sometimes I see that other people who are not chanting, they want to leave the group also.
That's fine. That's fine.
Then I will
Nirjala Ekadashi group.
Special group. And then we will post that in the other social media also, so other devotees who want to join and do this marathon can also do with us.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
प्रभु जी.
Thank you all very much. Yes, Prabhu.
प्रभु जी, कल एकादशी है, तो हम तो निर्जला एकादशी रख रहे हैं, तो भगवान भी निर्जला रखेंगे?
नहीं.
No, you have to feed the Bhagwan.
You have to feed him.
Feed the Bhagwan? Achha, you have to feed him regularly.
Yeah. He doesn't keep his Ekadashi also. You can feed him proper. For sure. Because we are not going to eat. Unless if we are going to eat, then you offer him Ekadashi.
No, but then since it is a Nirjala Ekadashi for us, we are not eating anything. So, but he will be given the bhog as usual?
Yeah, but in case, because of health condition, if we cannot keep Nirjal, then offer him Ekadashi bhoga and then have it.
No. If we plan to keep it, then he will be given the bhoga.
Yeah, and you can give him proper.
He doesn't have Ekadashi at all.
See, at devotees' houses, we feed him Ekadashi bhoga on regular Ekadashis because we have to eat. We eat his prasad. In temples, we offer grain bhoga. Then devotees don't take
Okay.
Because at home we eat whatever we cook. It's not going to be separate cooking again. So we
Okay.
have given.
So we'll be giving him Bhoga tomorrow itself, even
Yeah.
if we keep the Nirjala Ekadashi.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So even in Jagannath Puri, they offer big bhogas as usual every day. Ekadashi is not there.
Yeah, in
Only-
Jagannath Puri, they don't observe any Ekadashi. So for them, it's exemption.
Very
But
good.
when we go, we observe Ekadashi. We still observe Ekadashi in Puri, even if we go.
Very
Okay,
good.
so you all have a wonderful day, wonderful and safe day, and see you all after Nirjala Ekadashi. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Take
Hare
care.
Krishna.
Jai Shri
Jai Shri
Thank you
Prabhupada.
so much,
Thank you
Prabhuji.
very much, Prabhuji.
Jai Shri
Thank you so
Prabhupada.
much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.